Hey, this is Joe Price. I just wanted to share a few things about the new map app. Right now, the new map app has about 47,000 hints. They're all African-American families from the 1910 census. So if you're working on the African-American Families Project, it's really great because you can type in a surname or a location. And one thing that I like is that as you start to type a surname, you can actually see if maybe the one you're interested in is there in the list. Let me just try. So it looks like that was nice because then I could see that, my surname, oh, there it is actually. I just had to kind of click enough numbers. So you can see there's price. So I could go and do prices. I can also type in a location. And so notice that as I start to type a state or other place, you can see these kind of drop down. Now, sometimes like in this case, it maybe looks like there's only one county in North Carolina, but if you just use your trackball to kind of scan down, you can see there's some others down here. And we'll be working to improve the search capacity here. Let me just show you an issue that can sometimes happen. So I'll click here on North Hampton. Is notice that the pins are dropping us somewhere else. This is something we're working on. It just turns out that place standardization is sometimes hard when there's some places that show up in multiple places, but we'll be working on that. But the thing I wanted to emphasize is notice it's still the place you're looking for. So even though the dots are kind of dropping you in a place that feels weird, you're still accessing the hints that you were wanting to work on. And one thing I did want to show, what I like to do when I pick a place is I like to click multiple at once. I'm just going to click 3 right now, but usually I click about 10. And then the reason I like to do that is because then I don't have to wait for them to load and I can just work my way backwards. And so notice here, this is an interesting case where, oh, and let me show one other thing. I'm just going to open up Goldie May and I just have it kind of sitting off here to the side, and I'll use it when it makes sense to use it. Now, this is an interesting case here where actually things are lining up really well, but Billy Flith, I wouldn't feel comfortable adding him over here, but these other people I would. So, and notice we have an exact match on city, so that's great. So I'll click there. Okay, and then I'll just leave that other one, and that means we'll be able to come back later and find out what's going on there. So never feel bad if there's someone you don't attach, that will leave them that they can be analyzed later. Now notice here, this is an interesting case where, all I really have on the tree is just John Everett marrying Fannie Williams, but I have a marriage date of 1888 in a city seaboard. And notice that in 1889, I have a kid born, so just shortly after the marriage, and then notice they're living in the exact same city. So this is a case where, by looking at all the clues, we can actually feel a lot more confident about the match. And this is great because then we get to add 4 kids to the tree. Now I'm going to use Goldie May on this one because this one would involve a lot of clicking. So notice now that I feel comfortable about doing the match, I hit the attach and create new people button, and then Goldie May is going to take over for me and do the clicking for me. And this is actually why I use 2 computers, because during this time right now where we're waiting for Goldie May to do its thing, I would be just shifting to another computer. Sometimes I just have 2 laptops right next to each other. And so that way I can spend most of my time making the tough decisions about whether it's a match and letting Goldie May do a lot of the clicking. Okay, and then again here, you can see this is a great case where we have a lot of people lining up, which is really great. You can see that the wife is, even though it starts with an S and an L, that looks like it's correct. You can see the towns matching up exactly where they were living, born in the same state. So everything's looking here. Sometimes you might have to move here, but I'm not going to do that here because they don't look like they're quite the same, though they could be. Yeah, actually, this is actually, I'm going to move that because my guess is this is Wallace and that's Wally. So that's good. And so I'm going to hit attach records. Now notice that in this case, it looks like actually the index was better for 1910 than it was for the record that was already there. And so this might be a case if you felt prompted, you could go in and maybe fix the surname, change all those to Squire or other changes like that. But notice now that I've finished all of these, what I can do is I can pull the map out. I can hit close, which will close all those windows at once. And now this is when I'm going to hit the refresh button. And notice it zooms out. We'll fix that so that it doesn't have that issue. But then again, I would click on another 3 pins and or 10 or whatever I wanted to work on. So, and then obviously I can always then pick a new location. One thing I've really loved is I'm working in Ohio right now, and it's been kind of a neat experience to kind of, finish all the pins in different counties. And so you can see here, there's not that many pins, So, if I spent, 15, 20 minutes, I could probably finish off this county. And so the cool thing will be that as we work through this, you'll be able to tell if there's any hints left. And so, for example, if I type in Oregon or start to type in Oregon, notice that no hints come up, which gives me an indication that all of the hints for Oregon are done. Okay, so I hope this video was helpful. I just wanted to share a few